Thank you, Lauren. I know I'm really excited about all the work and the great things to come here at WBA around CSR. Very excited to hear about our second CSR report coming out next year as well. So now I'd like to introduce our final speaker, Oyauma Garrison. He's the Vice President of the Allstate Insurance Company Midwest region, responsible for achieving P&L results, engaging all departments and distribution channels. He's going to be speaking with us today about how Allstate is a force for good in our communities. Please welcome Oyauma.
Make sure you can hear me well. Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, excellent. So let me first start off by saying, let me commend you for taking this time to invest in your future by participating in this session today. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. So give yourselves a round of applause, because this is about you. This really is about you. I'll also share that I have been, in some respects, a member of the Walgreens family for quite some time, and I'll share that because we've had our prescriptions with you for a very long time, and when it comes to the Garrison household, guess what? We're at the corner of happy and healthy too. So let me just say thank you to the leadership here at Walgreens. Let me say thank you to the employee resource groups here for really bringing together what I think is a very dynamic topic to talk about and really engage in some dialogue around what does this really mean with this corporate social responsibility, and quite honestly, what does it mean for us when we think about corporate social responsibility in action. And so at Allstate, my company, I'm going to speak a little bit about just a couple of the areas that we tend to focus on. And I'm going to bring that in mostly from the Allstate Foundation lens or point of view. And we're going to have a little bit of dialogue around what does it mean when Allstate steps up and bring our brand. How many of you, by show of hands, have heard of Allstate? And the motto, the jingle, anybody know it? What is it? You're in good hands. That's right. So let me make sure I can work the clicker here. That's the other technical piece for me. So the green button. See, I get a little assistance up here. I love it. So, didn't work. One more time. Green. The other green. So my kids will love this right now, by the way. So they're very technically advanced. I keep telling them, I feel like I'm learning how to use the VCR again, right? So. Now, let me just share with you, when we look at this whole construct of corporate social responsibility at Allstate, we look at it more from the vantage of what does it mean to really do good? What does it mean to be a force for good in the community? And so that's what you're going to hear throughout this conversation is what does it mean when we think about corporate social responsibility and being a force for good in the community? And really driving, if you will, by using our brand. And let's just face it, big brands like Allstate, big brands like Walgreens, we make an impact, and we can make a difference in the community. So how do we use our brands to really empower social change and make a difference? And so the other component that I'm going to focus a little bit on is we're going to bring it down and really talk about two key areas. Two areas that I just want to highlight. And the first one is Purple Purse. Purple Purse really talks a little bit more about domestic violence, domestic abuse. And we're going to take it from the vantage of financial abuse as a component of that domestic abuse. And then spend a little bit of time on another topic that is really pertinent as of today, and that's youth empowerment. Our youth, young people, wanting to get engaged. And we're going to have some real good dialogue around what does that mean in today's society. And what we like to coin it as, good starts young. And so you'll hear a little bit of that concept a little bit later. And then finally, where I'm going to wrap up this conversation is really around how do we take that big complex conversation and make it really come to life at a localized level. Now, I talked a little bit earlier and said we're going to focus on this concept called Purple Purse and talk a little bit about domestic violence. And let me just share with you. This is one of those topics that when we think about it in the construct of America, almost sounds a little bit taboo. people tend to be a little bit shy to have this conversation. And we at Allstate feel that it's a part of our responsibility to lend our brand and our credibility to really help change this dialogue around domestic violence. So I have a very short video that I'd like you to turn your attention to the screens to watch. And before we run the video, let me just share with you that the very first time I saw this video, I actually experienced a bit of a range of emotions. And so I just want to warn you, because there could be some emotions connected to this video. So if we can, we'll cue up the video.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Don't you ever disrespect me.
What did you just say to me?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
This is my house. You got that?
For the roof over your head? I pay for all the food. I pay for the clothes.
Oh, what, you gonna cry now? You gonna cry?
Anymore. Please, just leave me alone.
Look at this man. Don't you walk away from me when I'm talking to you. Get back here!
No.
Powerful? It still gets me every time I see this video. Because as I think about this, the video itself is called America's Largest Prison Break. This is actually inspired by a true story. And the young lady shared her story in which she was locked in what she perceived, and certainly was, financial abuse in that domestic violence situation. And as such, what she would do is literally, as she collected money, hid it inside the tampon sleeves, which was the last place her abuser would ever look. And when we think about it, domestic violence strikes 1 out of 4 women in their lifetime. The number one reason why most of the abused tend to stay in those relationships is because they just can't seem to have the resources to break free. 98% of the time, the only reason they stay is they don't have the financial wherewithal to be able to walk away. Now think about that. Their abusers tend to do what? Take their paychecks if they actually do have a job. In most cases, they don't have a job. They mistreat them. All of that factors in. And this is part of the reason why this particular video struck home for me. I still get a little choked up about it to this day. It's because I personally have close friends and some family members who have been in this situation. And here's the reality. I didn't even know. On the outside looking in, I didn't see the signs. I didn't understand what was going on until they started to call and ask for help. And it opened up my eyes. It opened up what was actually happening and how I could then help those in need. And so aside from the work that Allstate is leading in this very tough conversation, when we think about domestic violence, because there's physical abuse, mental abuse, and then there's the financial abuse component. And in that financial abuse component, one of the things that we wanted to do at Allstate is make sure that we could push the conversation. And since we've been involved in this campaign, we have helped over 600,000 women find pathways out of financial abuse situations. 600,000 women. Now, this struck home, as I shared a little bit earlier, and if I have an ask, outside of Allstate's work, if I have an ask, it would be this. It would be that we need to step up and really start recognizing and understanding the signs, those warning signs associated with domestic violence, and certainly that which is associated with financial abuse connected to domestic violence. Here's the thing. The people that I'm going to actually challenge today are the men. We need to get more men involved in this conversation. We need to hold each other accountable for what we are seeing or hearing or understanding when it comes to situations like this. So, Purple Purse, the ability to help break free, break those shackles of financial abuse. We need you to step up and step into this opportunity. And it leads me to the second conversation. And in that second conversation, when we think about this Purple Purse campaign, it's really about education. And it's about awareness. And that's why we at Allstate do not shy away from this conversation. What I want to do now is just spend a little bit of time on that second item that I mentioned a little bit earlier. And that second topic really kind of hits home because everything that you're seeing out there today in the media, everything that you're hearing about our young people, this is all about youth empowerment. And we at Allstate firmly believe in engaging the youth in every fabric of our society in helping to do what? To solve the challenges that are in front of them. If you talk to our youth, here's what they will tell you. They are not the problem. They want to be a part of the solution. We tend to see the youth as what? The problem. We've got to change that dynamic. When we think about our youth, one of the things that gets me really excited is knowing that at Allstate and then also here at Walgreens, there's a great organization out there called We Day. How many of you have heard of We Day? Great energy, great passion that really does what? Engages the youth in their ability to do what? Do good in their communities, in the things that they are most passionate about. I know all of you in here are smiling because you see right here on the screen one of the ways even your company at Walgreens engages with We Day, the Rafiki bracelets, helping to drive what? Conversations and awareness around clean water and around health care. I want to say thank you because just the other day, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're at the corner of Happy and Healthy in the Garrison household. We saw the display, the Me to We, at our local Walgreens. So I just want to say thank you to the Walgreens family for all you're doing to help do what? To help with this Good Starts Young and empowering our youth. So, want to turn your attention to one more short, quick video that I think will help set the stage for just a little bit more of this conversation around corporate social responsibility in action and how we at Allstate help support and drive this component.
Hey everybody, this is Trevor Moran, and I'm reporting to you live from Chicago, Illinois at We Day. I am so excited to tell you guys about the hashtag Theysay campaign. We just launched it, and it's so amazing. It has a great message. We get a lot of labels. We get called lazy, we get called selfish, we get called narcissistic, addicted to our phones, guilty. But we can change their perspective on us. I'm so excited to go to We Day and hear everybody's story. So, yeah, come on, let's go check it out. Trevor, and my question is, have you ever had labels thrown at you that are incorrect, and how did you prove them wrong?
We got called the label idealistic. so often when we started We Day and we started Free the Children 20 years ago. And we got called that label so often, we literally picked it up and wore it with pride. We printed t-shirts that said Shameless Idealist on them. So I totally know where you're coming from.
All right, so Nora, you've done a lot of crazy stuff for the community, and you raised money for $1,400. That's a lot of money. That's amazing. From me, on behalf of the whole community, we just wanted to say thank you, and people like you inspire us. So thank you so much. Give me a hug. Thank you so much. Why do you think this generation, like the one we're in, like, why do you think it's special?
We are the new generation. We know the past mistakes, and we're the only ones that really can fix it right now.
Of course, of course. And how do you feel to be here right now? Like, to be on this awesome little field trip?
I feel excited. I get to meet a lot more people, introduce myself to a lot more people.
How would you describe today?
Extraordinary.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. All right. For me, it's empowerment. You know what I mean? Why do you think today, We Day, is important?
I think We Day just like shows like youth appreciation because we aren't always lazy. We're always egotistical. We contribute things.
What's your story and what got you here today?
We were chosen out of a lot of kids just to come to this special program to be surrounded by like a whole bunch of good youth, and yeah, that's what got us here today. And I'm so proud to be here.
That's amazing! I had a great time partnering with my friends at Allstate and launching the hashtag Theysay campaign. Visit theysayproject.com to learn more, and if you have a story, share it under the hashtag Theysay. Follow me on all my social platforms in the description. Bye, everybody! Woo!
I got to tell you, this really does make me proud. I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, our youth really want to make a difference. And this is another opportunity and avenue in which they can absolutely live into that difference. And so when we think about all the great energy and excitement that took place at We Day, now let's bring that down to a more localized level. So even at Allstate, when we think about the energy from We Day, we have our own agency owners. Gentleman you see on the screen is John Tunnell, one of our local agency owners out of the Chicago market. Got together with some of the kids from the We Day experience, went to the local school, and they held a pep rally. And at the pep rally, you know what they did? They made sandwiches. They made sandwiches that they later distributed out to the food banks. Talk about great energy and excitement. Let me talk to you about this other gentleman you see on the screen. His name is Lamont Robinson. Lamont has been just a sound member of the Chicagoland community, and I can tell you, when it comes to dedicating your time, your talent, and your treasury to really wanting to help elevate and mentor the youth, Lamont is the pinnacle of that. He has been out there literally helping work with the economically disadvantaged, the underrepresented young males in the community, helping to push them forward so that they can do what? Go on to college and find new pathways once they graduate from high school. Phenomenal work at a localized level. This next screen, I couldn't be even more proud. Far left of me on your screen is Lisa Giacino. In the middle is Barbara Brown, and on the far right, Chuck Suda. Three of our other local agency owners who really live into the value of bringing forth the good, a force for good in their community. They do phenomenal work in the Chicagoland market. Let me just share with you real quick, Lisa Giacino. Lisa Giacino has spent probably her lifetime pouring herself into the passionate work of her community, really trying to combat this conversation around domestic violence, around families in crisis, and really wanting to put, if you will, a crinkle and a stop in this whole perpetuation of homelessness, the cycle of homelessness. Lisa's done phenomenal work in her community. What you see here is they're all volunteering together collectively at one of the local food banks, giving of their time and their talent and their resources to make a difference at a more localized level. This, much like your community leaders that represent the Walgreens brand and the 8,000 plus locations you have, much like that, our agency owners spread across all of America live into this value of good hands, being a force for good in their community. So in closing, I hope that you got a glimpse into what does it mean when you have a big brand that lends its power, lends its credibility behind movements, behind social conversations that may not always be the easiest. We don't shy away from the difficult at Allstate. We take a look at the big brand that we can bring along with that human capital investment and that economic investment, and we tie that all together to do what? To do good. So here's my challenge to you. Be a force for good. Do good in your community. Do good for your company. Do good for your family. Be good to yourself. Because when you bring that all together, doesn't doing good feel good? And when you think about it, it lives into, at Allstate, what we say, which is you're in good hands. Thank you.